Hi guys, JSFBL here, welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'll be talking you guys through the Gw2 Preview, the key talking points in Gw2, the burning questions that everyone have been asking, the 50-50 calls, and to sell or keep this player. So I'll be running through all of that. So make sure you guys enjoy this video, like and subscribe, and let's jump into it. So first, who is the best captain? The best captaincy option for Gw2. Now, there isn't a best captain, but there is the best captaincy option because we don't know who's going to score the most points in Gw2. It could be Haaland, it could be Salah, it could be Cancelo, or it could be a surprising player that we've never even considered to captain. So the answer is to this question is, to be fair, I prefer Haaland and then second Salah and then only Cancelo. But if you're going differential, I see Cancelo as a differential shout. Salah, you could say slight differential, but because he will be slightly lower captain than Haaland, I think Haaland will be the most captain player. It's pretty obvious at this point. Those not that into FPL players will look at his points from game week 1 and will just captain him. But to be fair, Salah will be a good shout because Salah's history against Crystal Palace is really well, and especially at home at the Anfield. And then you have Cancelo, who could get the clean sheet, who could get an attacking return and then get bonus points, and he'll get 11 points. So for me, the answer is, I think there is no best captain, but it's personal preference. Where you prefer Haaland, which the obvious one against Bournemouth, but we know what happens. There's a possibility of him blanking, or there's a possibility of him going really, high and just get double digits and then just punch anyone who doesn't captain him. So again, captaincy will be crucial this week because there is a lot of 50-50s, and especially at the start of the season, if you get one thing wrong, it's not a mistake to captain who, because it's personal preference. And if we end up on the unlucky side and we don't captain the correct player, let's say Haaland gets 20 points and Salah gets only 5 points, and then we see Haaland is the better captain, and for those who captain Haaland will be massively ahead, and for those who captain Salah will be slightly behind. So points are really, every points matter in game week 1. It could massively change your rank. Like for example, I was 1 point off the top 1 mil. I could have been 800k if I got 73 points, but I got 72. So the points, every point is very important. So if you ended up on the bad side, like let's say you captain Salah and then you don't get so lucky and Haaland goes massive, you could drop rank. So there is no best captain, but if you want to play safe, go Haaland. If you want to place a slight differential, maybe a Cancelo or a Salah. So Salah is also quite safe, but not as safe as Haaland. So Haaland's the safest, Salah is slight differential, Cancelo's mega differential. For me, I like Haaland. I think he will score in this game. It's just how many points he'll get. Can he outperform Salah? So for me, I prefer Haaland, but it's fully up to you which one you prefer. Next is keep or sell Perisic, and if yes, the best replacement. Now, I saw a lot of these questions on Twitter. If you made a mistake of people making mistakes of owning Perisic game week 1, keeping them in the team, and I don't really see it as a mistake, and I don't see why people will look to sell him this week. It's a tough fixture, but you didn't buy him for 2 weeks. He has a great run to come. He plays Wolves in game week 3 at home, and then Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Fulham City, and Leicester. So you could say there's like that game 3 to 6 period where he has slightly really good fixtures, but after that you look to sell him. And with Champions League football starting around game week 6-7, I think he will be a great option. Before that, when Champions League football comes, I will look to sell him because I think he will be favored in the Champions League because he has that experience. Ryan Sessegnon is still young and he will still want to learn from the best, and I think Perisic will start in the Champions League. So now I look to keep him, but if you have to play him every week and you have to play him against Chelsea, you could just play Andreas Pereira. I think Andreas Pereira will outperform him. It could be famous last words, but for me, I think Andreas Pereira is a better option, and you can just play Pereira, and then when the good round comes, you could look to keep Perisic and play him. But if he doesn't start against Chelsea, and then that is really controversial because in game week 3 he's played he hasn't started any games, and then he came on both games against Southampton and Chelsea, and would you look to sell him? Then that will be a really good talking point, because that's when the good fixture starts, and that's when we look to play him. So now I think we keep him for the good run, and if you are looking to sell him, who's the best replacement? For me, all of these 5 mil options are good. Now, you could question me about not putting Gw2 in, is because I think he could be a good option, because if he keeps on starting at the right centre back role, and if Chelsea are getting clean sheets, we could see Gw2 be a great option. And a 5 mil, again, you have Kyle Walker, and I forgot to add him to this list. For me, the best replacement is Walker, Trippier, and Zinchenko. These are the one I'm looking at, because Gabriel, with Saliba playing so well, and if Tomiyasu comes back, it could be a really, really big problem, because then you have Saliba, Gabriel, and Ben White to pick. You have to pick two. So, look, it could be Gabriel who gets dropped, but I don't look to buy him. And then Trippier, in Game Week 3, they play a tough fixture against Manchester City, and then that is when the fixture where we don't want to play him. So if you buy him for this week, you most want to play him against Brighton away, and then he plays City, and then Wolves, and then Liverpool. So the good run is Game Week 6 onwards, so I won't look to buy Trippier. I think the great time to buy him was Game Week 1 to start off with the Nottingham Forest game. I think it's a bit too late, and I don't look to buy him. I don't see people buying him. I don't suggest people to buy him. And as for Gw2, a tough fixture, a more long-term option, so no to him. Matty Cash, we don't know what to expect from Aston Villa. They massively disappointed a lot of people, and they could disappoint again, so I will look to avoid Matty Cash. And then Zinchenko, who's played really well, he's played really advanced in the first game, so I think Zinchenko and Walker is the best replacement for Perisic. You could go elsewhere, Luka Dean, but you could go at 5.5. There's not much options. You have Koulibaly, Marcus Alonso, so I think Zinchenko and Kyle Walker is the best option, but I will look to keep Perisic for this week. And this is again a massive talking point: keep or sell Kane. And look, I added Haaland to this. I added him to this because, look, he will be that. If you are looking to sell Kane, who else do we want to sell him for? Jamie Vardy, Cristiano Ronaldo? No, obviously it is Erling Haaland. And I think, look, I didn't start with Haaland for one key factor, because I knew I wanted Haaland for the Bournemouth game. Even if Kane scored a hat-trick in Game Week 1, I would still look to switch to Haaland, just because of that fixture. So I started with Haaland, and I avoided Kane. And look, I think you should sell him for Erling Haaland. Kane does have a really good run after the Chelsea game. They play Wolves, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, and Fulham. But look, City also have a great run in that period. They play Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Nottingham, Aston Villa, and their run goes up to Game Week 10, which until they have Spurs, Wolves, United, Southampton. So for me, sell him for Haaland, but if you miss the price rise, I don't see Kane as a bad option to own, to keep him. But I won't go out the way to, mess up my team and take a hit for Erling Haaland. I think it's too much. But if you have the free transfer, and if you have money in the bank, I think the right time to buy Erling Haaland was before the price changes. But if you want to still go for Haaland and you want to take a hit, I don't see it as a really good choice to take a hit. But if you can do it in a free transfer, go for him. But the time has come to buy Haaland was gone during the price rise. But if you're keeping Kane, I think it's a good option, because after you just have to survive this week, and then after that, they do also have great fixtures who could match up to Haaland's points. So for me, sell Kane for Haaland, but if you miss the price changes, I won't take a hit to sell Kane for Haaland. Next is keep or sell Nettle and Bailey. Now, I've owned both of them, but I know some people own one of them. And now, look, Bailey, keep him. He's 5 mil. He's not that expensive like Nettle. And if you really, you need 0.5 to upgrade a player elsewhere, then go for it. Downgrade Bailey. But he could be a great option on your bench, and you could keep him on your bench because he's that cheap. But then for Neto, it's an interesting one because for me, I'm keeping him for this week against Fulham. They have a great run, but then they do play Tottenham in game week 3. So I will look to keep Neto for this week and wait and see. But depending on his performance against Fulham and depending on how Wolves play, I will consider selling him in game week 3. So for me, keep Neto, keep Bailey because Bailey is just that cheap. And if Bailey is not getting minutes in the first 11, then we look to sell him. Neto, Wolves have just signed a new player from Valencia, which I believe he's a left winger and he could play through the middle, and it's Gw2. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So it could be a bit of competition. He's preferred to play left wing, but Neto can play right wing, and Gw2 could play through the middle as well. So keep Neto for now. Wait and see. It's a great fixture. I don't know why people would look to sell him. And then for Bailey, again, keep him, but look to sell him in the coming weeks if he loses his spot in the Aston Villa team. Next is best replacement for Neto and Bailey. Now, look, I talk about keeping them, but if you really, your main aim is, your weakest point is to Neto and Bailey, then look, if you are looking to sell him, these are the players I would consider. Passus Group, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's scored twice against Man United, and he could be a good option. So that's one. Group, Dewsbury Hall, Anthony Gordon, Aronson, and Podence. Now, look, if you have Neto and you are looking to sell Bailey, I feel you won't go for Podence because why would you double up on the Wolves? And if you are selling Neto, I don't see why would you side grade to a Podence? They are equally that good. If not, I feel like Neto has the better underlying stats. So Podence is a no. I just see him as a avoid. Group, I think it's one to keep an eye on because Pascal Group, Brighton did play slightly differently in their formations, and if Group is playing slightly advanced, so I think he's a wait and see. But if he's playing advanced, he could sell him game week 3 where Neto plays Tottenham and where Brighton plays West Ham. So depending on the Newcastle game, watch the game, see how advanced he's playing, and if he's playing well and he's playing quite advanced, go for him. Anthony Gordon, he's playing out as a striker. I just don't see out of position. He played as a striker in Chelsea. Everton don't have a striker, so I won't look to go there. Of course, they do have quite good fixtures, but for me, I just see him as a void for now because we don't know what to expect from Everton. Brendan Harrison, now he could be a great one because he scored a goal, but it considered as an own goal, and Bamford got the assist, so he didn't get anything, and it's very disappointing for Harrison's owners. So I think he will be a good option. They play Southampton away this week, but then they do play Chelsea in game 3. So for me, you want to buy him in game week 4. They have a great run: Brighton, Everton, Brentford, Nottingham, Man United, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. So a great run then. So for now, you could look to buy him, but then you will look to bench him in game week 3. So he's a great option. Keep an eye out for him. And then Dewsbury Hall, look, he scored outside the box. It's an odd goal. He won't be that like a player like Podence or a Neto where he's playing a winger who's have a great chance of scoring. He's a central midfielder, Dewsbury Hall. He will get the odd goal, and for me, it doesn't make sense why people are going for him. It could be famous last words where then he goes on and scores a brace, but I just see him as a void. So the best replacement for me, I think it's Aronson, and keep an eye on Pascal Gross. So guys, that wraps up for another video. It's been a really exciting start to the Premier League season and for the FPL season. So make sure you stay tuned for more videos, and good luck in Game Week 2. This is the Gw2 Preview. Hope I helped you guys. And it's been me, Just FPL, and I'll see you guys in the next one.